Welcome back, friends. The world feels like a lot right now. Between everything happening in Minnesota, justice for Casey Goodson Jr. being delayed for over 5 years, and general overwhelm, it's okay if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, angry, and even helpless. But what if I told you could do something super simple to help overcome those things? Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're baking a focaccia. Or, as I'm calling it right now, a focaccia. And we're going to be using things you might already have in your pantry. Baking is peak kitchen witchery because it is so hands-on. But I don't always prefer sweets, and sometimes I enjoy baking something savory with intention and heart. Watch until the end because this is going to be delicious. So, let's get into it. I had some extra time on my hands last weekend with the snowpocalypse, so I thought to myself, let's bake something about it. And then I realized this also easily applies to the state-sanctioned violence taking place in Minnesota and soon to be unleashed near me. So, let's make some focaccia. Certainly for Casey, but also for Alex Pretty, Renee Good, Keith Porter, and so many others. Fun fact, did you know that Alex Pretty was the 9th person that ICE has murdered so far this year? Since the beginning of January? Let me be real here. No, focaccia is not going to solve the world's problems right now. It won't bring Casey back. It won't bring Alex or Renee or Keith back. What it will do, though, is nourish your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And it will be some powerful symbolism. Everyone fighting for rights in the world today needs to keep their energy up. And this carb-loaded deliciousness will definitely do the trick. This is peak kitchen witchery. If you missed last week's episode, where we got into some of the details surrounding Casey's murderer's impending trial, we made some Mexican mocha to kind of help speed the justice process along. I'll link that episode at the end of the video as well as in the description. So, as we're making this focaccia, no, it's not going to solve all of the problems in the world today. And yes, there are a lot. Think of herbs and ingredients not as a source of power, but as reinforcement. The intention is the engine. Food is just the accelerator. So in this ritual, we're baking some focaccia. You know, the Italian bread that contains a bunch of olive oil and herbs. And today we're adding in rosemary and garlic, along with a whole heaping cup full of intention. Justice, but make it delicious. Do what's accessible to you. If you don't have the patience or the spoons to make your own focaccia from scratch, by all means, feel free to use store-bought. Just imbue the focaccia with intent before you consume it. This recipe is pretty beginner-friendly, both for beginner witches and beginner cooks. So let's get into making the focaccia. What you will need: flour, or bread flour. Flour is made of wheat, which we are using today because of its ability to increase love. I'm going to surround Casey's family with love while I am making this focaccia. Bread flour has a little bit higher protein content than all-purpose flour. It'll give you a little bit fluffier, airier focaccia. I'm going to turn this into sandwiches tonight for dinner, so I want a little bit less fluffy result. I still want it to be like light and airy with pockets of air, but I don't want it to be like super fluffy. You'll need some kosher salt. There are 2 different varieties, and one is extra coarse. That one is usually made by Morton's. I tend to keep finer flakes of diamond crystal in my pantry. We'll get into the magical qualities of salt very shortly. Yeast. I'm using a fast-acting dry yeast. Yeast helps keep the energy positive as it lifts the dough. We're going to use some water to get things flowing again. We're going to use some butter, both for lubricating your pan as well as the wheels of justice. I'm using unsalted butter because I like to control the sodium content in my food. I tend towards high blood pressure, so I do watch my salt content. And using salted butter might make the focaccia too salty. There's already a ton of salt in it. Also note, if you eat a plant-based diet, you might be able to substitute vegan butter, but I have not tested that. You could also omit the butter if you're not using like a Pyrex or glass baking dish. Potentially. Use extra olive oil. Which brings us to a good quality olive oil. I prefer extra virgin for focaccia just because you're going to taste it. Olive oil has powers of healing, peace, and protection. It's magically perfect as well as necessary in a focaccia. You're also going to want a flaky sea salt, such as Maldon, a nice finishing salt. But if you don't have that, you could use some additional kosher salt, and that will be just fine. Salt is for purification and for removing any negative energy. Salt also helps amplify both the flavor of the focaccia as well as the intent going into it. We're choosing to use rosemary for remembrance, protection, and positive energy. And we're using garlic for, again, protection, healing, and removing the toxic narrative that is being pushed around all of these cases. Yes, you can use garlic powder, but today I'm choosing to use fresh. And note, this recipe has not been tested with garlic salt. Again, I think it's going to make your focaccia a little too salty. It also could make it tougher if you use garlic salt. So first we're going to make the dough. I'm going to use my large KitchenAid for getting this to come together with my dough hook attachment. In the bowl of my KitchenAid, I put in some lukewarm water and check the recipe for the amount and the yeast, and let it sit for 15 minutes so that the yeast can bloom. Once your yeast is bloomed, go ahead and add in your flour and salt. Attach your dough hook in your mixing bowl and just go ahead and put it on like low to medium low. I think I used speed 2 for about 5-10 minutes. I went 10, I think I even went a little bit longer than 10. Basically, you're going to go until the liquid has been absorbed and the ingredients form a sticky ball. Once your dough has formed a sticky ball, go ahead and cover it. I used just a kitchen towel and let it rest for 30 minutes. Then we're going to stretch and fold the dough. For that, you're going to want a little bowl of water off to the side, and you're going to dip your fingers in the water and then pull one corner of the dough in towards the center. And rotate the bowl and keep moving. Rotate the bowl, keep moving. Rotate the bowl, keep moving. This will make your focaccia extra bubbly because of the air you're incorporating into it at this point. You're going to repeat the stretching and folding process for like 8 to 10 times. Don't overdo it. As you stretch and fold the dough, you should feel the dough transform from being sticky and shaggy into something a little bit more smooth and cohesive. Just like the outcome of Casey's murderer's trial will be. Now it's time to cold proof the dough. You're going to want to rub the surface of the dough ball entirely with olive oil. Then cover that with a lid. You could also use plastic wrap here if you don't have like a fitting lid that fits your bowl tightly. And you're going to place it in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 3 days. It is really important that you use a fair amount of olive oil all over the surface of the dough ball, especially if you are not using a hard lid. If you do not use enough oil, you risk the dough drying out and potentially forming a crust on top of it, and nobody wants that. After 12 hours, you're going to grease I'm using a 9x13 baking dish with butter. Just take a little bit of butter, spread it all around. It can be a little thick. You want it to be extra greased. Greasing the pan with butter might seem a little excessive, but with some pans it is necessary because the focaccia will absolutely stick to it anyway. It's kind of notorious for it with, like, I'm using Pyrex. Use your own best judgment. Now, in addition to, once you've greased your pan, you're also going to want to put a couple tablespoons of olive oil into the center of the pan that you're going to bake the focaccia in. Using 2 forks, deflate the dough by releasing it from the edges of the pan, pulling it towards the center. Rotate the bowl in quarter turns as you deflate it, turning the mass into a dough ball. You're going to go ahead and place your dough ball into your prepared pans. Roll the dough ball in the olive oil that you spread out in the middle of the pan and coat it all over, forming a rough ball. You're going to go ahead and let that ball rest for 3 to 4 hours, depending on the temperature of your kitchen. And don't worry, you don't need to cover the focaccia at this point. Next, we're going to set a rack into the middle of our oven and preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Sprinkle the rosemary and garlic over the dough, and then put 2 tablespoons of olive oil over that. Rub your hands lightly with the oil to coat, and then using all of your fingers, press straight down to create deep dimples. If necessary, gently stretch the dough as you dimple to allow the dough to fill the pan. Sprinkle with your finishing sea salt all over. Transfer the pan to your preheated oven and bake for 25 to 30 minutes until the underside is golden and crisp. Remove the pan from the oven and transfer the focaccia to a cooling rack. Let it cool for 10 minutes before cutting and serving. Let it cool completely if you are intending to cut it in half to make it like a sandwich. To store the focaccia, when it is completely cooled, transfer it to a zip-top bag or an airtight container and store it at room temperature for up to 3 days. Otherwise, freeze it for up to 3 months. Reheat it at 350 for 15 minutes to bring back its freshness. There you have it. Delicious, herby, garlicky focaccia. You can eat this as is, or you can slice it in half and use it on a sandwich. Tonight we're having grilled cheese and soup for dinner, and I'll be using the focaccia as the bread for the grilled cheese. How delicious is that going to be? I'm thinking about adding some Asiago provolone and a little Parmigiano Reggiano for the cheese filling. It'll pair perfectly with the tomato basil soup, and it would be really delicious with a drizzle of pesto. It might be the perfect meal for a cold winter evening. Exactly like we are having today. As you consume the focaccia, envision peace and resolution for Casey, Keith, Renee, and Alex. Envision Minneapolis not being under siege. Imagine ICE being dismantled. Imagine your neighbors being left alone. Envision speedy trials for the murderers. Taste the justice as it is served. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this, please like this video and subscribe. I'll be continuing this work next week with another Kitchen Witch ritual for justice. In the meantime, pre-orders for the Fearless 26 collection are open. The Fearless 26 collection is a collection of 6 candles. As always, all of the candles are 100% soy wax and scented with essential oils, and they feature crackling wood wicks. The candles are as follows: Abolish Ice, Big Dad Energy is making a comeback, Childless Cat Lady is coming back, Grief Pants, J.D. Vance's Couch, and Just So Weird. Those last 2 are also making a comeback from the Fearless 24 collection. You can find more information about the Fearless 26 collection on my website, which I will link in the description. As always, every accusation is a confession. Free Palestine. Justice for Casey Goodson Jr. Protect the First Amendment, and do not let up on the Epstein files. Survivors deserve justice, and everything happening right now is just a distraction. I'll see you next time.